Welcome to Chat It Up Sports. Today is a very, very special day and a very, very special guest. Our first presenting sponsor, Joseph, is brought to you by this man and the wonderful Mike's Hole in the Wall. 3 claps, 1 time. John Melgap.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. We like to think you are buying very low in this stock. And
It's
one
like
day,
buying Bitcoin at $5?
yes.
Okay, good.
One day, this clip right here will be on a big broadcast network and be like, we're going to thank that guy.
All right.
We're going to thank that guy.
All right.
So hold that to us because that's going to be a little motivation for us today. So, buddy, man, we appreciate you. Give him a little rundown. What's the backstory behind you and Mike's Hole in the Wall? How did it come to be for your ownership?
So Mike, Rob, and I worked together at T-Bones. I was actually a part owner at T-Bones way back from 2002 to 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, Rob, and I bought what was a little bar over across the street here on Cherokee Boulevard. And we bought it in 2008. September 15th, 2008 was our first day. And Mike's was named the Hole in the Wall because there literally was a hole in the wall.
Yes.
Where you pulled the flap down and threw the beer bottles down and went blah, 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 down to the dumpster, which we thought was the coolest thing we'd ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, Mike Robb said, "Oh, expletive, now we got to buy the place," because he loved it. So, and then, of course, as you know, Mike passed away 4.5 years ago now. But he and I have been partners in the business since day one. I was the silent partner. He was the front of the business. And so that's how we got here 16 years later.
Yeah. And what a growth you guys have had to move into this place.
It was amazing. The other place was very charming and a great location. And for multiple reasons, we had to move across the street.
Yeah.
And this property was available. And I don't own the property, but we did sign a lease on it for 20 years, and I've got 2 10-year options. So I've got it locked up longer than I'm going to live. Well, maybe not. We'll see.
Well, yeah. Let's keep kicking. We'll figure it out from there.
There are a lot of new drugs on the market that could keep me here. So
Yeah.
Stay optimistic.
Yeah. Modern technology is a wonderful thing, man.
But anyhow, we'll be here for a long time.
Yeah. The patio's great. As you said, you are the largest animal-friendly patio in the city of Chattanooga, correct?
Absolutely. Dog-friendly patio. We have events with Tito's. We've got one coming on December 8th, I believe it is.
Yep.
A dog event. Tito's is very dog-friendly. We're dog-friendly. And
we are a good boy show here. We are a good boy and good girl show. I have a 12-year-old dog. I swear his food has cocaine in it. He's only getting younger. He only gets younger.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, dogs fulfill our lives, and why not go out and socialize with your dog and hang out with other people and have a great time?
Yeah.
It's something somebody told me a while ago, or it was a saying that I had seen probably on social media that said, dogs are only a small part of your life, but you're their whole life. And it just changed my complete perspective.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
My complete perspective on dogs. I've just had such an appreciation. It's one of those things. My family, we've had so many, and you sign up for that heartbreak every time because you know how it ends.
Absolutely.
You have to because they're
the best creatures on earth. We don't know how it ends. Me and my wife talk about this all the time. She's like, well, whenever. And I'm like, what are you trying to say? Listen, me and my dog, we have a plan. We're both going to die on the same exact breath when I'm 92 years old. That's how it's going to be. Sue me. Okay?
Yeah.
Sue me. That's how it's going to happen. Speaking of, you have another event on Friday. What is Jack Black Friday?
So we've got a really good vendor we work with, Athens Distributing. They sell us Jack Daniels, and they're doing a co-promotion where one of their guys is coming out, going to be dressed as Jack Daniels, and you can get pictures with Jack Daniels. Okay. And there's going to be drink specials and shot specials. And unfortunately, Black Friday is not the biggest day in the restaurant business. So it's the first time we've ever done a Black Friday promotion. So we're hoping that, people spend a little money on shopping, take care of their family, and then come out and have a good time with us.
Well, what better way to de-stress from shopping on Black Friday?
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't have
to have 10 shots. You can come out and have a shot, get your picture taken, and enjoy yourself here.
Just a little bit, just enough to get the blood flowing a little bit.
Yeah,
just to kind of decompress, be like, okay, I don't have to fight over a television anymore.
Exactly.
Got everything on my shopping list. Feels good.
because we have a ton of TVs out here, all the fun things. Black Friday NFL is now a big thing.
Yes.
So you guys are going to have a good little Friday act.
And I think there are like 11 college games on that day, even though they may not be the top games. But football's football, and we've got, I think, 17 TVs here. You can see the TV from virtually every spot in the building.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You could be in some corner. You could have your back turned, and you will not miss the game if you're here. You can see it anywhere you're at. They'll put on whatever game you want. Like, every time we've come here, you guys have been super catering to us. Like, is it the Thursday night college football game you want? You want the NFL game? You guys have been nothing but great for us in terms of changing to the game that we need for the show.
And that's not the easiest thing to do, to keep the crowd happy on what game is on what TV. And also, you see this all the time. A big game is on at the end of it. Everybody's celebrating, and 10 minutes later, you look up and it's ice skating. What happened?
You're like, who got us here, man?
Exactly.
Who got us here?
Yeah.
So
you got to keep up with it.
You sure do, especially out here, man. Especially in the SEC streets, you're going to have a pretty good Friday. I mean, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl's the Egg Bowl, so you're going to have some fun there.
Right.
That is another part. Like, I'm sure you see a wide variety of fans, especially here.
Well, people like their teams. They like to celebrate. We do have a lot of Tennessee fans, but we have Georgia fans, Alabama fans.
It's a weird Ole Miss and like Mississippi State place too. I found that
right.
Like, Mississippi State's been a weird subsect of Chattanooga that I did not know about. Like, baseball season came around, I was like, where'd you guys come from? So it's been fun to learn like where everybody goes, especially on Saturdays and Sundays. Big brunch spot here.
Well, we do brunch. We started it this year, Saturday and Sunday brunch. And it's pretty interesting because there's some unique menu items on there. One of it's called the Gravy Crockett, which is a stack of hash browns, a couple of eggs, some sausage gravy, and it's just this mound of delectable breakfast.
John, you can't
speaking my language over here, man.
John, you can't start talking to us like that on the show, man. That sounds delightful.
So, and then, come in and have breakfast either Saturday or Sunday. Sunday, you can, and we also have NFL ticket here on Sunday, which I don't know if you guys know, NFL tickets very expensive, and it's hard to come by now. So a lot of people don't have it.
Yeah, because is it only through, what is it?
Only through YouTube TV,
only
I think.
YouTube, yeah.
I know they bundle it
not
with
commercially.
YouTube TV.
Commercially, it's still DirecTV.
Commercially, I got you. Okay, because that's one of those. Like, it's another place. Like, you're finding difficult games nowadays. Like, you got to get on Peacock. You got to get.
Literally, we have it, and you can get just about anything on it.
Yeah,
so.
It's wonderful.
But yeah, come in, have brunch. It goes till 2:00, and then watch football.
We were going to ask, like, how long's the brunch? Because
11 to 2.
You got some
Saturday
late goers. If you're here for the 1:00 games, you roll in.
You got a Bloody Mary bar. I mean, a $5 Bloody Mary. Come on,
dude.
Oh,
maybe it's $5.
Sign me up.
You're speaking the people of Chattanooga's language.
Yeah.
Are you a Bloody Mary guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't for a long time, but I've slowly come around. As I started to get into Bloody Marys, I'm more of a spicy Bloody Mary guy. Like, if it's just straight up tomato juice.
We've got hot sauces to choose from. And, horseradish, You
got it all.
Got
okay.
it all.
Good to know. Because, like, the Bloody Mary game is something it's been an acquired taste as I've gotten older.
It is an acquired taste. And it's not like you can sit down and have 4. You have one, get your morning started, and then you move on to beer or something afterwards.
For me, it's typically a Bloody Mary followed by like a mimosa or 2.
Exactly.
I think that's like the perfect chain. And then, a Gravy Crockett.
There you go.
It's perfect. But can't think of a better way to start a Sunday.
That's right.
That sounds wonderful right now.
Yeah, I want one. I want that right now, please.
Yeah. One of those, couple of mimosas, whole thing. We can do it right now.
I'm down.
I can do it right now.
I'm sold.
I am technically now on vacation, so I'm pretty pumped about this. We are off for the week. Kind of. Work from home-ish.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And you don't have to get in the car and drive anywhere.
No. Good. Yeah. So it's very nice. We're going to be a family-filled weekend. So me and the brother-in-law might be sneaking down here probably Friday at some point. Let's be honest.
We are closed on Thanksgiving Day, but The rest of the time, we're open regular hours.
Love that. We're going to need it. I mean, Wednesday. That's another great thing about Chattanooga is the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving is like the best night to come
That
out.
is a party night. It really is.
Yeah. Everybody, all the cousins pile in.
Yep.
You're out there. So come by Mike's. John, man, we appreciate you so much, dude. This is going to be such a fun relationship. We're going to have
Well,
a good time.
we are so happy to have you guys here and pick our bar to do your podcast from. It's it's a win-win scenario. You help us, we help you. I will tell everybody we know, get the word out, and everybody that comes here is welcome. It's a great place, and we're just so glad you chose us.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we can't say enough about you being willing to take a chance on us and have us here, and having a chance to take up like a little bit of space and just do the show. And
hey, like I said, Bitcoin's almost 99,000 right now, and I want to see you guys on the world stage.
Getting in low, selling high.
Exactly.
All right. Good
Johnny,
luck.
Thank you, brother.
John,
appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, John, what's your team? Are you a fan of any particular?
Okay. Hold on.
You're good.
Yeah,
Slide back in.
Noisy chair. I'm a Florida graduate, which is not popular around here, but I pull for Florida. Their team is not spectacular this year or last year.
Hell of a schedule.
Hang on now.
Although we won this last week.
You're playing better, man.
We needed you. We needed you as a Tennessee fan.
And then, of course, pro football. I'm a Tennessee Titans fan.
Okay.
And I am a Tennessee fan because we're a Tennessee bar. I never had a problem with Tennessee when I was in Florida. I pull for them now. If they're not playing Florida, I pull for Tennessee.
I love that.
So
love that.
But yeah,
respect.
That's my team.
Good
and
enough.
of course, Braves during baseball season.
Of course. Yeah.
Chop on, baby.
Chop on, baby.
We'll still chop.
Yep. All right.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, John.
Thank you again.
Yes, sir.
You're the man.
All right.
Big shout out to John.
Man.
And can we officially? Did we open the show saying we are officially presented by Mike's Hole in the Wall?
I know that little fancy,
that
little fancy gadget up there in the
feels so
top
good.
corner.
It's just
First sponsor, dude. I know it's a growing world in the podcast game, but like we got our first sponsor inside a year. Feels freaking amazing.
and it wouldn't be possible without you wonderful people.
Yes.
That tune into the show, that listen to the show, that share the show. We appreciate you guys. This is not just for us. This is for y'all. Thank you so much for being a part of Chat It Up, and thank you for joining the journey.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you tuning in, you like and subscribe and all that stuff. Those little things matter. It gives us opportunities to go out and show, like, look at these numbers. Like, look at how this clip did. Joseph went, what do we call it, mini viral on the TikTokies. So it's a fun thing. Like, these little things matter. And I know it's small in some people's worlds when it's not your world, but this is a path that we are on. Miggy is also on a path from Knoxville, Tennessee right now. So he will be sitting in this chair here shortly.
TBD.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Man's an animal. We had a great time last week. I know you guys had the show and talked about it on Thursday. But, dude, a lot of things on the up and up, and it feels good to have people believe in you, not Edie, and then also John and the whole group here at Mike's Hole in the Wall. We love you, and so you guys are great. So let's talk college ball.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Where do you want to start?
Oh.
I know there's a lot.
There's so many places. Like, it's one of those things when coming into the show or coming into Saturday, I thought, well, I know how we're going to start the show. It's going to be pretty easy. You know, like we'll obviously lead off with Indiana, Ohio State. And then all these dominoes fall. And I'm thinking, okay, well, we have about 6 different avenues where we could start. But I think ultimately we have to start at noon with the slate. And the Hoosiers going down and taking their first loss of the season. Indiana, 15. Ohio State, 38.
And it was a late score for Indiana,
and also another late score for Ohio State. So
yeah, so it gets a give and take there on that score.
Yeah.
Okay, so going into the game, I actually did think, like, okay, it had the feel of Indiana's going to hang close. I really believed in Cignetti in the coaching aspect, but the talent gap is so large.
Yeah.
There's just no way they could hang. So if you're a betting man, like, take the first half spread, then take Ohio State to cover. Bingo, bango.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it's going to happen. And it's people always talk about the Steelers. The best bet in the Steelers world is to bet Steelers lose first half, win second half.
Oh yeah,
That kind of had that feel to it.
yeah.
So, especially that first drive, Rourke looked really good. They look crisp. When you get coaches out in their script, it's just rolling. They're just not good enough to hang.
Yeah.
And with all the chaos, they're probably still getting in, right?
That's one thing that I was going to bring up, a point that I thought about when I was kind of combing over the game and combing through the stats and going back and watching the game. I thought, Indiana was the loser this weekend because they lost the game. But Indiana's playoff hopes won the weekend because after their game was over, it just seemed like everybody else that was in that contention, that SEC logjam, just fell apart.
Yep.
They just completely just toppled over. And now you're sitting there and you're looking at Indiana, and it's like, well, I mean, you lost your biggest game of the season. You did. Your strength of schedule outside of that game isn't great. Your strength of record, I should say, outside of that game isn't great.
Yep.
But at this point, like, you who are you going to put in over them?
Who?
Because Alabama, bye. Yep. Ole Miss, bye. Texas A&M, but potentially, bye.
We'll get to them here in a little bit because that's another crazy scenario that they're still in this fight. I guess it just the Big Ten is like it's just got a very, very established 4 teams.
Yeah,
and it's
this year
hard.
For sure.
It's hard to move off that because the rest of we're trying to judge off like Iowa's an okay team. The Minnesota game for Penn State, like, man, that's a tough spot to play in at night.
And Minnesota has been a better team. They've been a harder out than their record shows that they are. PJ Fleck's got the boys playing well. I know they come up short against Penn State. They're supposed to. That's a game that Penn State and James Franklin are supposed to win.
Mm-hmm.
But Minnesota has not been an easy out for teams this year.
Yeah.
Outside of like a couple of losses. So they're one of those teams. They're kind of like a Florida right now or a Kansas right now, where you look at their record and you're like, that's a bad team. But then you kind of dig into it and you're like, well, they're not playing the same way that they were playing earlier in the season. And they're playing a lot harder than a team that's, barely above 500 or sitting at 500 or right under 500 with, Kansas, Florida, Minnesota. So, but to go back to Indiana, I kind of think this game ended up like I thought it would, where, like you said, close early, but then the depth for Ohio State would just show up. And they ultimately ended up with 153 total yards in the game, and 70 of those were on the opening drive.
Yeah.
And 75 were on that garbage time touchdown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this doesn't change my opinion of Indiana, ultimately, because I kind of expected, like, it doesn't change my opinion of Ohio State either. Like, this is coming in, I thought, this is probably the result we're going to get. So I think Indiana is very much still a very good team, but they don't have quite the depth to hang with these what I would consider 14 playoff contenders if we were still in the 14 playoff system.
Yeah, and they are somebody that I do believe that with the right matchup, they are definitely a team that can score and win a first-round game if the matchup falls in their favor.
100%.
They can beat X team. I don't know who that is. Let's say if it's a Texas A&M that sneaks in, like they can beat Texas A&M. They can beat Ole Miss.
They could beat Notre Dame.
They could beat Notre Dame.
I think they could beat SMU. I think they could, depending on what version of Cam Ward in Miami we get.
Facts.
They might be able to hang with Miami.
Yeah. Defensively, Howard started like 13 for 13, was just cooking. Like that was my biggest flaw with them. I was like, yes, at the time, like this was right after Rourke had scored. And what happened with Ohio State? They had it. Did they go 3 and out? And I can't remember. This is when Indiana was up, and then they go score their first touchdown. And Will Howard,
they turned it over on downs.
That's right.
Sorry,
that's what it was.
I couldn't get the words out.
Yeah, it's all good. And so it's one of those things like you have Will Howard come out, and you're looking at it, you're like, okay, they had the turnover.
Yeah.
Defense got scored on a scripted drive, and if you know what we're talking about, like most teams script their first drive, and everything just kind of fell into place. And Rourke, when he's on with the timing aspect, God, he looks freaking good.
He does.
He looks really good.
I can't remember who it was, but it might have been Clapp that said they are a very efficient team.
Yes,
and that's that's what they stick to. And if they get off that efficiency, that's when they could find themselves in trouble. And Ohio State has a defense and a defensive line that was able to disrupt the flow that Indiana wanted to create and ultimately got them off their comfortability.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of snowballed in favor of Ohio State because Indiana, they go down and then they have the fumble. He didn't fumble the punt, but he dropped the snap and he gets downed on the 7-yard line. Then Ohio State scores like immediately.
Yep.
And it's just like from that moment, it's like you need to take advantage of every opportunity that you get versus Ohio State. And Indiana just failed to do that.
Yeah, the botch punt, that's going to haunt you. And Cignetti talked about it too. He was like, you have to play almost a perfectly clean game.
Yeah.
You can't mess up.
Yep.
You can't mess up.
Yep.
And it just, you have to hold, like, that was the thing for them is like they had to hold all that momentum. And like we've talked about, momentum is one hell of a drug, brother. If you can hold on to that versus Ohio State, these are still college kids. I still think there was a time where, man, you get this stop, you score again, you're up 14-0. You're kind of taking the big house energy out of it, but you kept them in it. You kept them in it, and it just scares you. You're like, not the big house, but the shoe.
The shoe, yeah.
And so you're just having these little things, and it's just you can't mess up.
Yeah.
Ohio State, I was thinking about it the other day, it's the three best teams in my mind right now are Oregon, Ohio State, and probably Georgia. And here's why. And they're three relatively different teams. I think Oregon's very talented, but I just think they're the best overall team.
Yeah.
Camaraderie. They know their identity's perfect. They know what they can do.
Yeah.
They're the only team that can feel like they can kind of push it on Ohio State. Ohio State's probably the most overall talented team. Like if you're looking at from NFL prospects to future guys to all the stuff and the seasoned veteran Will Howard, like all that kind of thing they're probably the most collective talented team. And then there's Georgia, that's Georgia.
Yeah, and I think I would agree with you because and how I would look at it is Oregon has been the most consistent team all year.
Yep.
So that's why I would put them up there. Ohio State, like you said, that roster's just absolutely loaded. Their ceiling is unbelievable. That to me also is why I think Georgia is kind of in that category is because while they have not been the most consistent team, they've actually been probably one of the most inconsistent teams. The ceiling of what that team can be and what we know what that roster can be still elevates them.
Yes.
Because we saw the Texas game. We saw the Tennessee game. Like we've seen what both sides of the ball can be respectively. And if they just manage to put that together in the same game, they could beat anybody.
Yep.
So I'm with you there. And especially after I know there were some reports that Quinn's ankle was just precautionary, but he's already somebody that's not the most mobile.
Yeah.
So that worries me. If he's already not the most mobile and is on top of that on a kind of hobbled ankle. Yeah. So I worry about that a little bit for Texas. And on top of that, as we get into late November and as we get into the playoff push and the conference championship weeks and things like that, the running back position and the depth that Texas is lacking at the running back position with C.J. Baxter being out is going to start showing up, I think, a little bit more. I still don't think Isaiah Bond is back fully since the I don't remember what game. I think the Georgia game or the game before that he went out and he
was in the Georgia game, I believe, yeah.
So I worry about that factor. And they've got a big game coming up.
They do.
They have a huge game coming up against A&M. So
that is probably that's the biggest game changer of a game this week because it's probably a win and you get in scenario.
Yeah.
Because now I did not realize, I thought Tennessee still had a shot, but I guess it's the winner of this goes to the SEC championship.
Yes, and whoever wins the Texas A&M game plays Georgia in the SEC title.
Yeah, that's solidified. I thought Tennessee still had a chance, but I guess that's not correct. Like it is those two.
Yeah.
Either way. Okay. Because in my mind too, like going in, like after everything happened on Saturday night, like when you see Auburn beat Texas A&M, you're like, okay, Tennessee would be third technically, and then South Carolina's a weird four. Like it's a very sticky situation, but you just got to understand, like you got to pack it in and understand how this is going to work.
Yeah. Well, because also A&M, that's their third loss, but it's only their second conference loss.
Yeah.
So, and I think Texas would have had to lose earlier to like Kentucky or Florida or somebody like that to get that chance in.
I have a good what if on this too.
Okay. That I was about to say that's our perfect segment to go into how many SEC teams have a realistic playoff shot now. So if we're looking at this, there's kind of this SEC championship bubble, which has been reduced to 3 teams. I think Tennessee, regardless of what happens in the SEC title game, as long as you beat Vandy, you're in.
Yeah.
So Tennessee for me right now is in a win and you're in position. With Georgia, Texas, and Texas A&M, those 3 teams are in a really sticky situation. Oh man!
Whoa!
Oh, bro, he's ready for the blackout.
Come on.
I didn't realize you was already.
Blackout?
Dude,
Dog, I just want all the love. All the love.
UGA football equipment. They tweeted out Kirby's black visor, a black hoodie. Like I don't know. We'll hope. We'll see. But hey, let me catch you up where we're at right now.
Okay.
So after the SEC logjam and the dominoes that just fell this past weekend, the segment we're on, we're talking about how many SEC teams have a realistic shot at the playoff right now. So go ahead, give it some thought, get your headphones out. I'll keep going.
Boom.
So last thing I'd said was that I think Tennessee's win and you're in. You beat Vandy, Tennessee's going. Because I just don't see anything that's like with Bama being out, with A&M or A&M potentially being out, and Ole Miss being out, I don't see anybody that's going to get in your way. This logjam of teams in the SEC title, this flipping of cards that we have, I guess it's really 2 of them between Texas and A&M because we know Georgia's in.
Mm-hmm.
How does that look if, say, A&M beats Texas and then loses to Georgia? You're a 4-loss team, but you made your conference title game. And then if Georgia makes the SEC title game, Texas beats Texas A&M, but Texas beats Georgia, it's like, okay, well, Georgia just lost to a team they've already beaten, but they picked up their 3rd loss in a conference championship game. Let's, for all intents and purposes, call it a unnecessary game. How do you treat that? How do you treat a team, and especially if it's, say an ugly loss for Georgia? I'm not by any means predicting it would be or could be, but how do you treat that? A now 3-loss SEC team that picked up in a loss in an optional game.
It would have to be an atrocious loss, and I do not wish this on anybody. But there would have to be an injury involved in there. Like you would have to be like a Florida State scenario,
like Carson down.
Would have to go down, and your backup look terrible. Like it would have to be a tremendous fall off for Georgia to get out. Texas and Texas A&M. You got to keep winning. I really do think that they'll slide somebody else in, especially like if SMU goes out there and whips Miami. Like, or do you really think are you going to take Miami out over?
Are you going to take SMU out if Miami whips SMU?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think SMU is probably the team that gets kicked out in the ACC, but I think Miami still kind of holds on.
And say you have A&M go out and beat Texas, and then beat Georgia. And then you've got A&M, obviously they're in because they won the SEC. Like, you still have that same scenario. Like, how bad does that loss look for Georgia to an A&M team?
Oh, we're in pandemonium, fellas. Can y'all turn me up just a smidge?
Yeah.
You need some sound?
Just a smidge.
Oh, yeah, he needs sound. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Wow.
Welcome back, bro.
What's up, baby?
From the interstate to the Mike's hole in the wall.
I mean, crazy.
Yeah, we got to get you to talk to John too. He came on. We had a nice little interview with John Glellen. He's a great dude, owner, of course.
Shout out to John, man.
John was great.
We appreciate it. We appreciate Mike's hole in the wall as well.
Big switch up for that seat right there.
I mean,
John was dressed nice, but he was dressed very Chattanooga. You look like you came from the streets of New York City.
Listen, man, NYU student, man, arts major. You know what I'm saying?
Dog, you look so clean. But I feel like the way you look right now is more like I can invest in real art.
Yeah.
You don't look like you're an art student. Like you look like you invest in art students.
I know a guy that's in the VC.
Yeah.
But he may also sell weed on the side.
But like big time.
Not like you're
No, you look way too clean. Like he's
investing into it in like California legally.
Yeah. You're the guy at the party that like, what's he do?
That's what I was going for.
I love that look, dude. That's a great look for you.
And I love you guys. It's so good to see you.
How you feeling, man?
I feel great. I'm actually not that tired. Like I can actually. That's why I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna ball.
All right.
Like if I had to compare my stats right now, like I'm really DJ Moore.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Can I give you a basketball one?
Let's go.
I really do. I feel like you're Manu Ginobili.
100%.
Like you're coming in a little late in the second quarter.
Yep.
A little older Manu, but you're about to give us 18, 6, and 4.
We're about to run, fellas.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
We're about to run. Have we had any teddy bears brought out?
We have one teddy bear.
Listen, we got 2 now, fellas.
We got 2 now.
Let's go, baby.
We got 2.
Shout out to Hits 96 and Gino, of course. Appreciate the content.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Great stuff. We'll be out here again. Listen, I know tonight's gonna be a little weird, but if you have a chance, hit up your boys at Chattanooga Sports, and if you want to donate a teddy bear or send us some funds, we'll go buy a teddy bear. We'll get a link set up somewhere. We'll get a fun Venmo or something, and you give us a couple bucks, we'll go buy these teddy bears for you. You are helping out the Salvation Army, the children of Erlanger. Children, people, help them.
Buy a teddy bear.
Buy a teddy bear. Don't go sports betting this weekend. Give us that $5 that you're going to put on that 14-leg touchdown parlay. Who would do that?
Who would do that?
Who in this crowd would do this?
Who would do that?
I mean, if we had 2 friends that I would
just
betting on that.
I don't know what you're
Who
talking
would
about.
do that on Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Who would do that? Not us. Speaking of, we're going to have more content for Thanksgiving. We're going to have some fun picks for Thanksgiving Day games, which I don't know. They're like, okay, but not great.
I mean, dude, it could get really interesting if the Cowboys sign Daniel Jones.
You know,
I ain't asked for much in the NFL, but
there's 2 spots that terrify me. The Cowboys being one because they could actually turn some stuff around. The Saquon, and I know comparing them is asinine, but Saquon, you know, my man Xavier McKinney in Green Bay. There's countless amount of players that have left New York that I'm now seeing in other places thrive. Dog, Daniel Jones ain't bad.
Oh, gosh. We'll get to this here in a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
Let's go back to college football before this
Yeah,
nonsense starts.
Okay.
It's a Miggy take.
Biggie, Dan
that
Lanning,
felt like-
Daniel Jones, golly, bum, what's happening here?
That felt like a Miggy rant.
Yeah.
Just
Like-
in the so we were talking college football before I rudely interrupted.
Yeah, it's all right. We love you, though. That's what we're here for. Basically, we're kind of going down through, like, over the weekend, absolute chaos happened. Like, who are your realistic teams from the SEC that have a shot to get in?
Well, let's just start
College football
here. Georgia is going to get in easy. I mean, to me, they're my SEC champion, even though it's crazy. Like, it feels like they shouldn't be there. I feel like everybody was like, Georgia.
Dude, I was sitting there, like, last night I was thinking about it because I was trying to get my thoughts together. I was trying to think ahead for the show, and I was thinking back to our preseason predictions, and I was like, I have a chance to nail this SEC championship game with Texas and Georgia, but it doesn't feel like I earned it. It doesn't feel right because Georgia just kind of backdoored their way in.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it kind of feels the same way about Texas too, because of this. What
their schedule was just
it became
awful.
worse. Well, that's the thing is like I'm sure everybody saw the viral meme of like, here's the teams. It's like this huge cluster of teams that have faced a winning record SEC program versus, I guess, what is it? What's the record? What's the thing?
Wins against bowl eligible teams or something like that?
Yeah,
Yes.
wins against bowl eligible SEC teams, and it's mostly everybody in the SEC. UMass, not Texas. So Texas until next week will not face 2 winning programs in the SEC. That's crazy to think, but still, like if you go out, you beat A&M at A&M, that environment is going to be nuts.
Oh, my goodness.
Especially coming off a loss to Auburn.
Yeah.
They're going to be. What's the over/under on like people going to jail?
That's
What do you
high.
set that number at?
I'm setting it at 15.
Oh, I was thinking like 30.
Yeah, I think we are in our age bracket now.
Y'all
No.
think 30 people might go to jail?
Dude, listen, this is a rivalry that hasn't been played since Texas A&M joined the SEC. I mean, we're talking about, 14 years of just unhinged hate
Yeah,
and little brother, big brother dynamics. Texas just stole Texas A&M's baseball coach. Like, there's a lot building here that's more than just there's a football game with 11 guys and 11 guys going to hit each other.
me and GT had this conversation like a couple weeks ago. Just he and I just chopping it up on the phone actually, and he was just like, "Dude, you know what's crazy is like being down in Texas. Like there was this rivalry, and Texas A&M. He was talking about. He's like Texas A&M felt like they finally had their spot. Like they were the hot girl at the prom, and they were in the SEC. They were the Texas team in the SEC. Recruiting landscape was theirs. They're going to own it. They got the money. They're going to spend it. Nerds spending their money they've made. It's time. They're doing their weird yells like they're the only thing. They felt like they were hot up there.
Yeah.
And then Texas comes in and like swoops in and steals all the limelight.
Hot
Like,
older sister just
hot
walks through the
older
door.
sister. Yeah. Gets the fancy outfit, gets it all, steals the prom king from him. Like, it's the whole thing. And now they're just like, they do feel like a second fiddle SEC program, especially right now. You can't go lose to Auburn at night.
Auburn is weird at night, and Jordan O'Hare said it's
Voodoo.
just a weird. Gotta be right.
Place is cursed. Place is cursed. Saban said it on game day, man. That place is cursed. You'll never convince me it's not cursed. That place has some kind of magic that if you're, I'm telling, it's magic.
I mean, some
It's
of us,
magic.
some of us may or may
Magic.
not have hit a Kansas, Auburn, Florida money line. It's just,
You're a demon.
You move
boys.
different.
It's this week. I'm done because I quit. I've deleted apps because I was like, I don't know what it was, but I was like, I felt like a new ball this weekend.
I
I knew ball.
if you'd have coupled that with Oklahoma, I like.
Ooh-wee.
When did you travel back in time?
I don't know.
How far ahead did you go?
I don't know. It just, all these teams are playing better. And it just felt like the perfect. I mean, the slate was fine. But like, you get noon, Indiana, Ohio State. But outside of that, it's like, nobody believed in Army. No offense. Love our soldiers. Thank you for all that you do. Appreciate
Salute
you.
to service.
Yeah, but we knew you can get your ace kicked up there.
That was so stupid of me to take that. But I think I took it more so for like the love of the game. Like I wanted to will us to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Little did you know you didn't need to will Notre Dame to lose.
I didn't.
To will you to the
Like I
playoffs.
just thought Notre Dame would blow it.
I was kind of, okay, so I didn't believe in your pick. But I did think like that was probably our best hope going into the weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure. For me, your best hope was
I feel like that was the easiest air quotes
And
path.
that's why I was like, you know what? Like just will it to happen.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the Ole Miss Florida game, I did not expect.
It was I was optimistic. I liked Lagway being in there, like the whole Florida hope, but
That's such a Lane Kiffin game to lose. Though.
yeah, it is. It is, but still in my mind, I was like, if I was going to rank the things that like would be the easiest and realistic perspective, yes, like I picked him a bet on him, like all that stuff, but it still didn't feel like it was the easiest path for Tennessee. I was like, if Notre Dame goes out, like we're solid.
Yeah. If Notre Dame had picked up a second loss against this schedule, and it still stands, if they pick up a second loss to USC, bye. See you.
That is going to be a fun one.
That's going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah.
It'll be a really
I
good
love rivalry week,
game.
man.
Lincoln Riley needs that win.
Bad.
Notre Dame needs that win for their playoff hopes to
Yeah,
stay alive.
they
Like,
do.
That
Yeah.
is a must win. If there was ever a must win in a season, that game is huge for both teams.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like coming in, we'll finish out here. Like, so we have Tennessee, A&M still has a chance. Texas definitely has a chance. I think as of right now, so I'm looking on College Football Predictor, Texas has a 98% chance to get in. Georgia, 92%. Tennessee, 76%. Alabama, 37%. South Carolina, 23%. Ole Miss, 6%. Texas A&M, 6%.
I know. Listen, if Texas loses to A&M, I think they should be out. I think they should be out completely.
Yeah, because who's their best win now?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And hear me out on this, because I know it's going to sound crazy. But at this point in time, the way both teams are playing, if somehow, some way, and I don't think they will. Let me just preface this. I don't think a 3-loss team in the SEC is going to backdoor their way into the playoff.
No.
But if we had to pick one, I think I'm going to pick South Carolina, man, over Alabama. Just the inconsistencies, the ceiling. Going back and watching Alabama versus Oklahoma, that team is just they are so quarterback centric. If Jalen Milroe is just non-existent, Alabama's non-existent. And watching Oklahoma, it seemed like they keyed on Jalen Milroe, and they're like, hey, you're not going to beat us with your legs. And so Alabama didn't move the ball. For all intents and purposes, to me, the final score of that game is 24-10.
Yeah.
Alabama just had a touchdown just ripped off the field. we can beat the dead horse about officiating. Until somebody actually does something about it, we're just wasting
doing the same
breath.
thing.
Talking,
We're just
yeah.
We're
wasting
doing
breath.
the same thing.
Yeah.
But man, if I had to pick a team that I think a lot of people don't want to play, it's South Carolina. That defense, that defensive line, the way Lenore Sellers has seemed to be playing healthy, and Raheem Sanders has started to play with Lenore Sellers being healthy, that seems like a team that a lot of playoff teams would be like, yeah, I don't really want to catch South Carolina.
Yeah. I think they would be the toughest out.
I mean, they have the perfect opportunity, right?
They would just, and I know they lost to Alabama, but
It's not
I mean,
the same team.
If we're basing this off eye test, man, like recency bias and looking at how South Carolina has played versus how Alabama just laid an egg in Norman. Again,
not a very bad. I think not a very bad.
I mean,
A pretty bad Oklahoma team.
Oklahoma's 1-5. They flip-flop quarterbacks. They fired their OC. Their top 5 wide receivers are just out. How do you lose? How do you lose that game?
Jackson, it's something about like the mediocre Oklahoma quarterback that just balls against Alabama because what's his face did it years ago.
And he rushed for over 130 yards. Like
Yep.
he did what you would expect Jalen Milroe to do.
Absolutely.
He run the ball, and they ran him like he's a dual threat guy. He's got some quickness. He's got some speed. He's not Jalen Milroe by any means. Am I saying from an athletic standpoint? He's not. But his stat line, you would look, and if I gave you his stat line and Milroe's stat line blindly on Friday and said, "Hey, who's who?" You'd pick Milroe to have Jackson Arnold's stat line.
100%.
Yeah.
Like you just would. So,
But I mean, we all know at the end of the day what's going to happen. You know, Alabama is going to backdoor their way into this college football playoff.
No.
They're going to be 13th, and just waiting in the wings. It's just going to happen.
who's going to drop that game for them to backdoor in?
I don't want to say it, but
What? What are you
You
say?
think-
It.
I don't want to say it.
Say it, scared
I know
man.
what you're thinking. You think Clark Lee's going to pull one over on you?
Bro, I could see this happening right here, right now. I could. Because you know what, Vandy, the one thing that they're not going to do is play scared.
They're not.
They're going to kick onside freaking kicks
Yep.
in the first quarter. They're going to go for 2. They're going to let everything. I mean, we're talking double passes, reverses. You're going to see a really, really, really aggressive Vandy team. Does Josh Heupel match that energy in the one setting where, dog, he's just not a good football coach. He is not a good coach on the road.
It's weird. It's weird.
It looks like 2 different guys, Chase.
It does. It's like when you're kind of like comparing like wins and losses, it's really close between the Ole Miss. Ole Miss got them too. Ole Miss got South Carolina.
Bad too.
Bad.
Like
And then the 2-point loss at Alabama. But then you go out and you get Oklahoma, who just got them. You get Texas A&M, Vandy, Missouri, and then now if you pick up Clemson,
especially at Clemson.
at Clemson, the rivalry week.
That's what I'm saying. Like, South Carolina is juice, bro. They might make something. I would. If I'm in the committee, yeah. I'll put them around 14.
Especially if like SMU gets blown out by Miami. And I mean like blown, like 54-10 blown out. Not just like a 36-21, like
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take basically a miracle run for them, but
SMU's not getting blown out, by the way.
no, I don't think they will either.
No.
I think SMU has a legitimate shot to win the ACC.
I'm with you. I don't think Miami's like just cooking.
I just Miami plays too much like we talk about quarterback centric teams in Alabama. Look what happened to Miami when they played Georgia Tech. Cam Ward just couldn't save them. He had the one time where and I don't blame him. You're not perfect. You're just one guy. But he had the one game where he could not save them. I mean, if you play against a well-coached team like SMU and Rhett Lashley, it could happen again.
Is he too calm for you guys?
Cam,
Yeah. Is it too cool?
he's not. I would rather him be too calm than too nervous. But what consistently frustrates me with Cam is he just has these plays where it seems like he's not calm, but he just doesn't care. And he'll just throw the ball like back across his body. over the middle of the field, and he's like, well, I threw a pick, but, I mean, I'll get us a touchdown next drive.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I love that confidence, but you saw what happened in the Tech game when that didn't happen.
Exactly.
You lost.
That leaves you so susceptible for a team like Tech who just controls the ball. And, yeah, it's not going to be easy for you guys either.
No.
Dude, this last week caused so much because there is, like, I was just looking at it, and not to go back to South Carolina again, but, dude, they got a legitimate shot. It's going to take a lot. Like, I think Auburn has to beat Alabama. Texas A&M has to beat Texas. I really think Texas A&M's going to have to, like, beat the crap out of Texas. Like, you're going to have some big losses for some of these teams to sneak in. Dude, it's probably going to happen. Somebody weird's going to get in.
Yeah, somebody that you wouldn't expect is going to get in. And I think you also have to have some – because does anybody think the Big 12 is going to get 2 teams in?
I think my man Shador ruined that, unfortunately.
Dude, I mean, we might as well talk about it. It was a Core 4 game. Kansas, it was the Devin Neal and Jalen Daniels show, man. I mean, Devin Neal, 37 carries, 207 yards.
Against the defense that I was like, that's one of their strongest points.
I thought they turned a corner. Speak on it. I mean, I did. I was right there with you, bro.
The talent really started to show up front.
Yeah. Bad.
And then Neal was like, get off me, little boys.
I don't know, and this is the first time I've ever said this publicly, I don't know how you can give Travis Hunter the Heisman after that.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I think he still stayed in it.
I mean, he didn't give up any big plays, but they just, when you're in the Heisman conversation, a Heisman Trophy winner figures out how to win games like that.
They just couldn't stop.
And I know Lamar lost 3 games. Robert Griffin III lost 3 games. I don't know. It just feels weird.
You can only do so much as one man, and especially when you're not the player that touches the ball every play. Yeah. Like, it's just – and Kansas is one of those teams where when we predicted this game, Kansas was one of those teams where their record fooled me when we were looking at this, because they were, they ended up being 5-6.
Yep.
Yeah, they're 5-6 now. They were 4-6 going into the game. Going back, looking through their schedule after the game happened, they lost by 6 to Illinois, 3 to UNLV, 4 to West Virginia. I mean, they've only had one game where they, I don't want to say got blown out, but they didn't lose by 1 possession. That's TCU. They lost by 11. I mean, they're pretty much the complete opposite of what was 2022 TCU.
Yeah.
Where all of these one-score games go in the opposite direction. Otherwise, we'd be talking about Kansas as a Big 12 title and a playoff contender. If they'd only lost to TCU, we'd be looking at Kansas being a one-loss team. But their record fooled me, man. And they're playing much better ball. Just hats off to Lance Leipold and hats off to Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal. They absolutely balled.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys all heard the stat was this is the first time a losing team has won 3 straight ranked games. They just kind of figured it out. And then you go and you lose your offensive coordinator to Penn State, and Jalen was supposed to be the next, Big 12 guy. He's probably going to be the best quarterback outside of Shador in the Big 12, and just didn't work out. But now they're just cooking. Now they're balling. And they're like, oh, it's another good team. So, I don't know, man. Like, that's another good notch for, like, Arizona State. But that's another tough one that kind of goes unnoticed after all the chaos was Colorado had their destiny in their own hands. Just keep winning.
That's it. That's all they had to do. Literally, they were going to be a college football playoff team. It was cinema. It was etched in stone.
Everybody wanted it, right?
Yeah, everybody wanted to see it.
You want money? Put the Sanders family and Travis Hunter on a special night, whatever. What would that be? December 20th or 21st?
Yep.
Put them as the Friday night game, that first one. That would have been sick.
The entire world would have been watching. And now it's like, if I'm Shador and Travis, do I even play the bowl game? Probably not.
Why would you? I hate to say that. It's going to look like a Florida State game last year, but I don't know.
I'm trying to pull up and see because I think they're still alive. In the
Is
Big
it
12.
so? It's a lot, but it takes a lot, right?
Well, there's a 4-team tie right now. Colorado, BYU, Arizona State, and Iowa State are all 6-2 in the conference. None of them play each other this weekend.
Oops, sorry,
So naturally, Colorado plays Oklahoma State,
Okay.
Arizona State plays Arizona, BYU plays Houston, and Iowa State plays Kansas State.
So a lot has to happen. A lot.
So
Quite
if
a
they
bit.
all finish scenario one, so this is from desert.com. I don't know how to. I think I'm saying that right. Scenario one: Arizona State, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State. They all win. They're finishing 7-2. It'll be Iowa State and Arizona State in the Big 12 title game. Scenario two of the 4 teams win and finish 7-2, while the other 2 lose. The 2 teams that finish 7-2 would play in the Big 12. So if Colorado won, somebody else won, and the other 2 lost, Colorado could still play in the Big 12 title game.
Okay.
That would be crazy. I didn't know
if they,
that.
If they backdoored back in.
Yeah.
It looks like, looking through the other scenarios, that's their only shot because it looks like every other – if Arizona State, BYU, and Colorado win and Iowa State loses, it's Arizona State and BYU. If BYU, Colorado, Iowa State all win and Arizona State loses, then it's BYU and Iowa State. If Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State win and Colorado loses, it's Arizona State and Iowa State. So it looks like that's their only shot is for them to win and 2 of the other 6-2 teams to lose
Okay.
to make the Big 12 title.
Still can do it.
There's a
still
chance.
a chance. There's still a chance.
Okay, that's more than I thought. I did not think there was a chance, but
So
with everybody being at 2 or 3 losses, like you just forget how many weird scenarios there are.
Yeah.
I thought before you got here, I thought Tennessee still had a chance some way somehow, but I guess they don't. So it's just 3 teams in the SEC. But dude, the Big 12 right now, all the teams are the opposite of what we thought up top, but it's still like the most intriguing conference.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
no, these guys might win one game. Like I think the talent level of Colorado could beat somebody,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
Like they could win a first round game.
It depends on who they play, though.
Yeah. Like if they went to Notre Dame, I think they could beat Notre Dame.
I think they could beat Notre Dame. I think they might be able to beat SMU. Depending on, I'd be a little sketched to see if they beat Miami.
Could they beat Georgia?
The dominoes would have to be perfect.
Which version of Georgia? I mean, ceiling Georgia, like
No.
Tennessee, Texas, Georgia. No. Ole Miss, Georgia. Maybe.
Maybe.
Georgia, UMass.
I'm not reading too much into that game, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That felt like a classic. Like we don't really want to be here.
Wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wake up. Your game's at 12:45. Like, I'm not going to read too much into you, man. Now, I will say I will take a lot from the Tech game because Tech can nickel and dime you to death.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
They would love nothing more than to potentially ruin Georgia's season.
And they're physical. Like there's a lot that's
Yeah.
gonna come with that game. Is like
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, it's gonna be
I
tough out.
don't think if I had to pick one, I don't think they could beat Georgia. Because I think the version of Georgia you would get the most consistently would just be too much in terms of depth.
Yeah.
I don't think they beat Ohio State or Oregon.
They could beat Tennessee. I'll tell you that.
I don't know if they could.
There's a world that could beat Tennessee. There's just games we can't score.
Yeah,
We're so
inconsistencies
one-dimensional.
on the offense is very frustrating. I mean, to me, it feels like one of those games where your defense would just be too much.
Checking battery.
Your defense would just be too much, and eventually, like Dylan Sampson would get going enough to where
Yeah.
you would kind of wear out the Colorado defense.
I think so. And I mean, I say that they could beat, but then it's like also that offensive line is putrid still for Colorado.
Yeah,
Like Jordan Seaton looked like a freshman against Kansas the
he
other day.
did. He has his shining moments, and
This
he's going to grow.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah.
He still looks like a freshman.
He
at
looked like a
times.
freshman, which it's great. He's going to be a freshman All-American.
Yeah.
But he still looked young. That technique is still needs some improvement. So we will see.
I think they could beat anybody in the Big 12. I still think they could beat Kansas if they played Kansas on another day. I think Kansas was just Kansas is playing hot. Colorado hadn't really seen a quarterback like that.
And stuff like stuff like these night games and the afternoon games, like when the game happens, it matters so much on these upsets. Like that's why I love the Auburn thought. I was like, you're getting your $4.7 million light show. They're doing the Navy out. Shout out to my homegirl, Camille Hawley, coworker. She went to that game. Went straight from Bryan College working an event to Auburn.
Dedication.
And got to watch that game.
Dedication.
That's right. And so just seeing the atmosphere, like feeling that feeling, you're like, if they can come out early and be better as they've been a little bit better. All these teams that upset this week have been a little bit better. And I just don't trust A&M away from A&M. It's just one of those things. But I also believe they can turn around and beat Texas. That's the weird thing. Is like that's just welcome to the SEC right now.
Juiced up at home, man. I mean,
juiced up at home. They're going to have the yell. They're going to have the lights. They're going to have all the pageantry, and they're going to have guest pickers and all that stuff.
Did you guys watch the Arkansas-Texas game?
Yeah.
Arkansas laid the blueprint down on how to beat Texas. Keep the football, run the football, and just really own the line of scrimmage. That is what Arkansas did for 3 quarters. It was, 14-13 going into the fourth or something?
It was 13-10.
It was close.
Arkansas,
Arkansas just didn't have the talent. Texas A&M now has the talent, and they also have the heart to beat Texas.
I love that this game wound up being it's a weird how it got there, but it wound up being as valuable as it is.
Oh, dude, it's the biggest game of the season for both those teams.
I agree.
This is off the cuff thought, and you guys, so far, what is your game of the year? I just thought about that the other day.
Oh man, I wanted to do this, and I was thinking about waiting until after the season was over. We go back and we review our game of the year picks.
We can wait. Do you want to wait? Or do you want to go ahead and give a little?
We can give a little preview. Just give one. If
Okay.
You just want to do one off the cuff. Man, I still think it's Bama, Georgia. I think that was. That game was like the first half, as ugly as it was. I mean, just the way that social media reacted to the end of that game, the way people talk, like it was just insane, man. To come back from that far down, and then you lose it on this Ryan Williams like emergence and this deep pass, like that was a really, really good game, dude.
I don't know if there's anything else out there like that.
I mean, if you want to go wire to wire, I think Ohio State Oregon was a better game.
That was my only thought.
Wire to wire, like
from
start to finish, that game was competitive. It
Absolutely.
was close. It was a battle.
Was that the day? Was that Georgia Alabama too?
No, that was
Alabama. That was October 19th. That was Alabama Tennessee.
That was Alabama Tennessee because the day lived up to its hype.
Yeah.
Both those days, everybody was like, "Please, I can't." It was the 12th.
Wait,
and the
no, it
19th.
was the 12th. October 12th was Ohio State. Because it
you're
was
right.
It was Ohio State, Oregon,
was the
LSU,
night
Ole
game.
Miss,
Tennessee,
Oh,
Florida.
LSU, Ole Miss.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Tennessee,
think so.
Florida.
I
All
think
those
so.
games lived up to the hype. That was worth it. Yeah. Man, that was such a man. Y'all remember like looking forward to those weeks,
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
and now they're a month gone.
Oh my gosh.
Don't remind me. I mean, I'm like, listen, man. The sun goes down at 5:30. I'm about to turn 30. Like I got a whole like the college football season's about to be over. Like the end of the year is just hurting. dog.
Yeah. Well, I'm
It's
gonna
just hard.
I'm gonna douchey one up you. On October 12th, I did not have a child. At this point now, I have a 6-week-old child today. Here we are.
Time flies.
Bro, time flies.
So weird, dude. So weird. Yeah, we watched. I don't know if you guys saw the picture of this today. Gracie's a big college basketball fan. She just sat there on the couch with me and just watched college basketball. Passy out, just laid there and watched TV, and I was like, "Cried today, boys. I cried."
That's your life. Now.
It's my life.
That's like it's
That is
incredible.
a beautiful thing.
It was a beautiful thing. I don't know if she can see that far, but I'm
That's
going
okay.
with it. But I'm going with it.
Listen,
I actually don't think physically she can see that far yet, but we're going with it.
you ain't got to worry about that right now.
Yeah.
because she's there. She's looking at the TV.
Yeah.
she's got her dad. Like
It's the moment, man.
it's-
Yeah,
it's
sorry,
the
G. I know UConn lost today. Coach had a nice little outburst. You see the end of that game, or by chance, like
No,
on
I did
anywhere,
not.
or
I did
hear
not.
anything about it? UConn lost today to Memphis in overtime.
Oh, so they did lose.
They lost
Okay.
because Coach UConn's coach, Dan Hurley, got a technical at the end of the game. He lost it. Me and Joseph saw. You're welcome to go look up. We're not going to say it on this program.
Nope.
But he said some harsh things, it sounds like. Some
Words.
swear words, if you will,
Yeah.
along with some derogatory terms added to it.
And he caught a tech.
Hard tech, bro. Hard
Uh,
tech. And they lost 90, I think it was 99, 97.
How much time was left?
I think it was like pretty much done.
Oh God!
Yeah, bad. So yeah, that happened today. So that was fun. That's our college basketball spiel.
Yep.
I can't wait. I got an article coming out tomorrow. Please stay tuned for that. If you want to be caught up with college basketball while college ball is going on, I understand there are the casuals in this world. We are just going to stay with college ball. There's too much football going on for you to have to keep up with college basketball. But now is the time this week, feast week, where you can catch up. And you can watch college basketball if you're taking your days off, those PTO days. Miggy, you've handed out a lot of PTO in the last couple of years.
Prepare the others, brother. Prepare the others.
You got guys working for 3 dudes this week, you know? Those guys that didn't have PTO left. They're like, I got to take care of all my boys this week. So shout out to you guys that are on the computer screens. But yes, great week for college basketball. I'll have an article out to catch you guys up, all the things going on. Anyways, but this week, I did have a question for you guys, and we can touch on a few NFL things after this. But
Of course.
what is the biggest what-if scenario left that has not happened yet in college football? Malcolm Harris, I'll start with you.
Can I give you 2? One personal and then one just not.
Yeah, have at it.
One personal is, what if Tennessee wouldn't have lost to Arkansas? Things would look a lot different. It would be pandemonium because some really good team is getting left out, i.e., I think Georgia might get left in the cold.
Okay.
Or Texas. I mean, somebody.
Well, you'd be playing in the SEC title game.
Yeah.
So you'd have more than likely, barring the Tech game, 2 loss Georgia, and then 1 loss Tennessee, and then 1 loss, Texas or potentially A&M playing in your SEC title game.
Yeah. What's your future one?
My future one is it's tough, but what if Ohio State doesn't win at all?
Oh, doesn't win at all?
Yeah.
I thought you were going somewhere.
Where'd you think I was going?
I thought you were going to say, what if they lose to Michigan?
Ooh.
No, meaning like, what if something catastrophic happens?
I mean, if they
You want to say like more like first round?
Yeah, like what if they get upset early?
Okay.
Well, so hang on. If they're playing in the first round, that means they lost the Big Ten title game. And that's already not going to be.
Is that a rematch between Oregon and Ohio State?
If they beat Michigan this week, yeah.
Golly bum, dude.
So, and championship games hold no weight.
I thought about this last night, man.
Okay.
Easy fix. It'll never happen. Easy fix. It'll never happen because they make too much money off the ball
Make
games.
too much money.
You want to really incentivize these conference title games? You want to really incentivize winning? Give the conference champions the first round bye and the home playoff game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Make the first round all neutral site games. Give the conference winners. If you really want to, and I don't think that's fair by any means. I do not think that's fair because I don't think playing in the Big Ten, the Big 12 is as hard as playing in the Big 10 or the SEC. Like I just don't.
No.
So, and playing some of the schedules that people have played, it's just not going to be as fair. That aside, I'm playing off the current system we have, which is first round buys. And until that auto bid system changes, that's what we have to go off of. If you really want to incentivize winning your conference and you really want to get rid of this, I've talked to other coaches, this Lane Kiffin hearsay, he's talked to other coaches and they don't know how they feel about playing in the conference title game. Give them the home game and the first round bye. You'll see people lining up to play in that because not only do you get a week off, then you get a team that just played that you get 2 weeks to prepare for realistically coming into your house.
Yep.
In your house.
Man.
I don't hate it.
Like you said, it'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
The money is too much now.
Never happen. because it's just they make too much money off of because they're gonna keep it in the second round because in their mind they're like, well, the bigger brands, the better teams are gonna make it to the second round, more marquee matchups, we can make more money, and ultimately, guys wearing suits and a bow tie and shoes that are a little too tight are gonna make those decisions. So
talk to him.
Corporate world.
I'm here for the love of the game, man.
The love of the game. Yeah. What's yours?
I was going to do what if Ohio State lost to Michigan, but I can't wrap my head around it. I just can't wrap my head around it happening.
Michigan's just not there.
It's just not realistic. What if SMU beats Miami in the ACC title game?
Is Miami out?
Yeah. They're null and void. It was a good season, but
Really?
you call it. Yeah. I would much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just going to say a 3-loss SEC team is way better than a 2-loss ACC team to me at this moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate that.
Would you rather? Would you? I guess in this scenario, would you rather have Alabama or Miami? 2-loss Miami, 3-loss Alabama,
3-loss South Carolina. I'm just. Sorry.
I know.
I'm just pandering.
I'm with
sorry.
you.
I'm
I
sorry.
wish it would happen.
It very well could if they embarrass Clemson, which is a possibility.
Oh, dude, they could put Cade Klubnik in a blender.
Like I'm
That
telling
man
you,
could
it
be
ain't
running.
far fetched.
That man could spend the next 60 minutes of game that he plays running for his life. I don't know. We'll see, but he could. So you bounce Miami? Like, what if they lose close? Like last second field goal, they're up by 2 and they lose by 1.
Then yeah,
I think
SMU has to blow them out.
I think with the landscape and the way that it's fallen, you have to keep them in, and it's something that I don't know, man.
I'm almost to the point now, and maybe this is just like a weird mindset around it. Is like so much craziness happens every week that I'm like something else will happen too, where Alabama will just dog stomp Auburn, and then Miami loses bad, and it's like all these things like move and shift so much when it's such a, and you can tell the committee is definitely week to week biased in a lot of facets,
and they put a lot of emphasis on record.
Yeah.
100%.
So I'm gonna be. It wouldn't make sense for them to lose Miami unless it's to replace Alabama, because I'm thinking they have to think a little bit like. When it's getting this close, you have to think about brand.
Yeah.
You have to.
Because they want to make more. Like, should they? No, but
it's part of
will they?
It's part of it. It's college football.
I mean, listen, ESPN owns that product. ESPN's in bed with the College Football Playoff Committee. So,
like, why else would you have Penn State that high?
In their ear, they're going to be like,
that's so bad, what you just said. It's not a true statement's been said.
They're gonna have the 4 seed, basically the ranked team this week.
They're not even a top 8 team. Penn State sucks, dog.
Minnesota almost got them.
I wouldn't say they suck because I think Minnesota's better than a lot of people give them credit for. Like
they're very well coached.
I really do think Minnesota's a hard out this year. So I actually put a lot of stock in that win for Penn State. I still think they are typical Penn State, where they'll beat everybody they're supposed to be, and then they'll play an elite team and lose.
Yep.
So, like, could they beat Notre Dame? 100%. Could they beat SMU? Yeah. Could they beat Miami? Maybe, depending on what version of Miami. Could they beat Ohio State? No, they already can do that once. Would they beat Oregon? I wouldn't take them to beat Oregon. Would they beat Georgia? I wouldn't take them to beat Georgia. Would they beat Texas? I wouldn't take them to beat Texas.
I'm looking at it here. Like, I'm trying to think too of who would they be favored over on a neutral site field.
Penn State,
not Texas.
They'd be
Indiana.
They'd be favored over Indiana. I think they'd be favored over Notre Dame.
Maybe
they'd be favored over Tennessee.
They'd be.
I was going to say I don't think they would.
I don't think they'd be favored over Tennessee. I think it'd be like a 1.5 for Tennessee. Yeah,
but I don't think Penn State.
I think they'd be favored over Miami.
I don't think so. I think that's right now. Pick-em. That is a toss-up.
That is. Boise State, SMU, yes.
They'd be favored.
I don't think they'd be.
They wouldn't be favored.
They
over
would not
Alabama.
be favored over Alabama.
They would. They
Iowa
would
State,
not be.
Arizona State.
They'd be favored over any Big 12 team. Would they be favored? I think they'd be favored over Clemson. Is that what you
Yeah,
got
I think they'd be favored over Clemson. I don't know if they'd be favored over South Carolina right now. Right now.
It is a +3.5 trap. That's what that would be.
Yeah. There'd be so much money sprinkled on South Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
That would be a -3.5 Penn State line if I've ever seen one.
Anybody that's any fan of any team in the Southeastern Conference is putting the house on South Carolina.
Yeah. Because you know that front was going to terrify. Yeah, because it's not – they're not Ohio State. I'm not saying that. But what they can do defensively,
I mean,
what they can do defensively, like at a top-end level, with that front is so good. They can terrorize you.
Yeah.
So – I don't know. That is one that's why I just don't love Penn State. Indiana, it's a long list before they're favored over somebody, but they're going to get in.
I think Indiana would be favored over. They'd be favored over Boise and SMU. I could see them being favored over Notre Dame by like 1.5.
I don't know about that one, man.
You don't think so?
No, I think Notre Dame has a little bit more favorability than we think.
They carry a little more weight.
Based off
being
that Army
biased.
game,
Especially
could
the other night.
yeah, they looked
But
dominant for the first time in a while.
Yeah, but Army's like
I know.
it's Army, man.
But it was a great,
Like,
it was
salute
a great
the service.
story.
Thank you for everything you do, but it's
Thank you.
Army.
It ain't the
dog.
same. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's a hard one. That's a tough one. I was actually trying to. That's Josh Pate. I know he gave him a lot of credit.
Hey.
I was actually looking out for.
Pate, if you ever see this, give us the FanDuel numbers on Indiana versus Notre Dame. I'd love to see it.
clip it. Clip it.
Please, I just want to know.
Yeah, I'll try to make sure that happens. So, anyways, I just kind of wonder, like, we gotta get a contact. We gotta know these things. We gotta get a contact at one of these gambling sites that does not involve Greg Leonard or Garrett Tolley. They do not participate in any of these activities.
This
At
is
all.
strictly a trio thing.
Yeah.
This
for
is
the
why
game.
we're here tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have one. It's a little multi-layered.
Okay,
Go
I'm
for it.
all ears.
What if Texas A&M, blows out Texas,
Bye.
and then Georgia blows out Texas A&M? I
Do we
mean,
even
I
have 12
want
teams that wanna be in this
I want to
thing?
say, and 28 plus, and you know it's dominant, both sides,
Oh.
because it's got to be a crazy scenario.
I mean, I think at that point you're looking at two teams from the SEC in, and that's it. You have
Yeah.
Georgia to Tennessee in, and then the Big Ten's going to get 4.
I gotta disagree. I think no matter what, the SEC is going to get 3 teams in.
You think it's Bama?
I think it's Alabama. I think Alabama sneaks in at the 12th spot. Just because their losses were kind of close outside of Oklahoma, right? The Georgia game was the Georgia game.
I mean, yeah, but you blew a 28-point lead
Yeah, it's just eye test, and I'm sorry, but brands.
and roster potential.
Yeah, like
I will say, and I don't know his status, but oh man, his name it wasn't Quay Alabama lost a linebacker in the Oklahoma game,
Yeah.
and when he went out, his name has just left me. When he went out, that game changed on the defensive side for them.
Yeah.
I don't know his status. If he's out, that's a big time loss for
Yeah.
that team. Like, it's not the same level as losing your quarterback by any means, but
I mean, it is. It's just the
It's
defensive
leader-
side of the ball.
leader of the defense, man.
That's why I think Tennessee has looked weird.
Yeah.
People
It
don't
was weird.
talk about it, but we lost the heart and soul of our defense this year.
Yeah. I love those giant Polynesian men.
Yeah.
Immunity.
Pause.
Pause. But yeah, Peely was such a great leader.
Yeah, run stopper as well.
Oh my gosh, I miss him already.
Yeah,
But so that's my big because that creates a lot of chaos.
I love that. What if?
But another part of it, like this would have to be this is somehow we've become a South Carolina fan podcast here. If Auburn were to upset Alabama, that's how South Carolina sneaks in.
It is.
South Carolina wins in a pretty good fashion against Clemson. That's how they get in.
Is anybody prepared for Tulane to end up taking that spot over
How,
Boise State?
Joseph? How?
I'm just saying, man. Like Boise State playing Oregon State this weekend. Oregon State's not great, but it's still a Power 5
Weird
roster.
10 a.m. game.
I mean,
They have a 10 a.m.
it's
Noon.
9.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
10 a.m. Sorry.
Noon in Boise.
Oh,
I mean, if Boise
Noon Eastern in
loses-
Boise, bro.
If Boise
Can you imagine
loses,
playing football at 10 a.m.? I didn't even have brunch yet. Shout out to Mike's Brunch.
I'm just saying, man. Is anybody prepared for John Summerall and the Green Wave to backdoor their way into this thing on Boise State, dropping the last game of the season?
man, Ashton Genty's going to run for about 250. He's going to
I
try
hope
and win
so.
that Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
I hope
I
so.
see it right
It's
now.
kind of his now. I think it's his to lose.
Okay.
I think. Which sucks because I still think it's Travis. 'cause
This
he's
is the
best player.
tightest Heisman race we've had of our lifetimes.
It's
Yeah. You know what's crazy? There is a shot that we have, because somebody's moved up in the MVP race too. We might have a Heisman running back and an NFL running back with MVP. Genty Saquon.
yeah.
Possibilities.
That NFL running back just got a bunch of people fired.
Sure did. Sure did, brother.
Wait, who was fired?
The Giants fired.
I haven't been on my phone today, as y'all can
The
tell.
Giants fired the GM and Mike.
Dayball.
Mike
Dave
Dayball.
got fired.
Oh,
Dave got fired.
Boy, if you don't go
They
back to
cleaned the
Buffalo
house.
right now and run it up, they better
Yeah.
just go back to Josh Allen.
I'd beg for that job. Beg for that offensive analyst job.
Oh yeah. Why not?
They fired him for real.
Yeah,
They
dog.
did, man. Yeah. I mean, the Giants are full. It seems like the Giants are full reset mode. They released Daniel Jones.
Tommy DeVito had to start.
Like, Giants have full hit the reset button.
You know who I feel really bad for? Brian Burns.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's a really
Yeah.
good athlete that's not going to win anything ever.
ever. You went from the Panthers to the Giants.
Like, you just, brother, go be a family man after this contract.
Yeah, go get yours.
Nah, man. Hold out hope the Chiefs will pick you up and just ride the roster to a ring or something.
Fair point.
Patrick ain't done getting rings. Like, he might not get one this year, but
But
They'll
Noah
win.
Gray's going to get him there.
Yeah, they're gonna. What a weird one. We probably got like 17% left on that battery.
Okay.
yeah. So you
Sorry,
wanna
guys.
transition to
No,
the
yeah,
NFL
let's
real
talk a
quick?
little NFL.
Okay.
We kind of been all around.
Shout
the
out to
ranks here.
Tulane making the 12 team, man.
Hey,
Dude,
okay,
Tulane
re-
snuck in.
re-
Not only they snuck in the playoff, and they're sneaking in the show.
Green Wave, baby, ride the wave. Hey, real quick, one last thing on
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
So there's 3 games that I kind of want to pitch to you guys. If these teams lose, who makes the playoff? Maryland beats Penn State. Miami loses to Syracuse. Cal beats SMU, and USC beats Notre Dame. Who makes the 12-team playoff?
Bama,
That's
South
we have
Carolina.
2 SEC, 2 3-loss SEC.
Ole Miss. Nah, they're out.
No,
There's I don't. They have. I think they have the worst snare to get in now.
Dog, I think Colorado would sneak in just because people want the views. The network is going to be like, you know what?
dude,
Hey, make the case for
it
them.
paid dividends.
We need the West Coast.
Yeah, like Penn State would still be in there because they're ranked so high.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're
be hard to see them.
They're in.
it'd be hard to see them like falling all the way out.
Yeah.
Especially if Notre Dame lost and SMU lost and Miami lost. I just wanted to pitch the full on chaos
No,
scenario.
that's a
like,
great
Oh,
chaos.
I
scenario.
can't wait.
yeah.
This
it's gonna
weekend is going to be.
Oh, it's going to be
This
dank.
whole week
weekend's
is that
gonna be incredible.
we have one Thursday game. We have Memphis Tulane.
We have yes,
I think it's Memphis Tulane on Thursday. It matters.
That
Tulane gets prime time.
yeah, dude. Tulane. It's 9-2 versus 9-2.
Yeah,
So
because Memphis early on was another sneaky people wanted to get in.
Yep.
All right.
correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have NBA on Thursday as well?
Talking about getting shut out,
Is
dude.
that
I don't know.
Let me see.
I don't know. We have a lot of NFL.
No, we don't have NBA on Thursday. I thought it was Wow, because we did last year, and I guess the NFL took the NBA's lunch.
Dude,
They read the room.
Yeah, they tried to take Christmas. Now they have taken Christmas. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over for the NBA. Sorry, guys.
It's tough.
I want to give our condolences to Garrett Tolley,
What happened?
Oh,
the Washington Commanders.
Did you get to see the end of the Washington Dallas game?
I mean, not only did I see it, I felt it. You know, I had Terry McLaurin win me a fantasy game, but also I lost just because of him because I was playing him in another league to somebody else.
Oh, that hurts.
So, I'm sorry for Garrett. I don't. Dallas is really ridiculous though for winning that game.
Yeah, why win?
Like they need to tank for whatever they can right now.
I mean, the franchise needs to tank, yes, but Mike McCarthy was trying to save his job.
Brother, you can win the rest of the games. He's not saving his job, man.
Probably not. No.
Probably not.
Like that's done with.
I thought the Commanders' defense was better. Cooper Rush dominated, dude.
Cooked.
24 for 32, 2 tutties, no
Cooked.
picks.
CeeDee Lamb was open.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a solid day. You know, they're just like kind of dinking and dunking and just making it work. And 91 yards might be the most they ever had on the ground this entire season. I don't know. They've been awful on the ground, but that's another part is Jaden, good fantasy day, not the greatest day in his career so far.
Yeah.
But that Terry touchdown, man, when that happens, we're all sitting there. We'll have a little family event go on, and my cousin Hunter's birthday. Shout out
Hunter.
we were just sitting there watching, and all of a sudden, you just see this that 95-yard touchdown catch. You're like, wait, what?
Untouched,
basically.
and it's not like a go route. Like this
No.
is like a little.
What was it, like a six
just like
yard hitch? It looked like.
Yeah, just a curl route, and then he just. It's like he had a magnet on him, and nobody could just be like, "Yeah, no."
Dallas is ridiculous, man. They're ridiculous.
Kicking's the worst job. There's no glory, really. There's some glory,
I mean, that was like the most Dallas way to lose to Dallas. To
Yeah.
miss the extra point,
Yeah.
and then the onside kick,
and then
Did you see the house call?
house call.
I've never seen that, dog.
Me neither. I was actually fixated. I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
an onside kick run back.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
No.
I think I've seen it once in college.
No, I saw my man Micah Hyde for the Buffalo Bills do it.
That's right.
You remember the reverse,
Yeah.
like, wow. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
a
I pulled that
A
out.
little throwback.
I pulled that out, guys.
That was nice.
Mm.
That was nice, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I just want to give our condolences. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Commanders kind of showing some colors here. Like they beat some bad teams, got through. No, man, Jaden's fun. He's still got some lessons to learn, but still good. Still good. Titans won. Why? I don't know. How?
You also don't know?
I don't know. Big touchdown catch right here in the
Sean Bateman.
Wow. Yeah.
Huge Rashad Bateman, guys.
How did the Titans go from looking like one of the worst teams in NFL week by week, and they come out and beat the Texans?
Well, I think it's a sophomore slump with CJ. He's not the same guy. I think film is starting to play a major role.
Yeah.
And I also just think that Will Levis is just slowing down. Y'all notice him making really good decisions. And
That's weird.
there is a touchdown leader. There's a guy for the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to let you say his name, Chase, because I can't say it correctly. He has more touchdowns than Christian McCaffrey, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Jefferson. And it's not Calvin Ridley. Who is it?
Nick Westbrook-Akine.
That is crazy.
That man is
Who?
inevitable. Exactly.
He has more touchdowns than all those folks.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
I think he has had a touchdown in every game. Let's see. Trying to look back here. This is great content. Sorry, guys.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It is wild. I think it's like out of how many games have been played? What, 10 or 9?
Yeah, he's had a touchdown in the last 6 of the last 7 games.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Inevitable, boys. And most of those games, he has been under 3 catches, 3 or less catches. He had one big game, the old New England overtime win, 5 catches, 29 yards.
House call.
Yeah.
He's going to the crib.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that man gets open. He's a great red zone target. They got him. He's one of those guys signed for a pretty cheap deal. But yeah, just finds the end zone somehow, some way. He doesn't do much else. But dadgummit, he'll find the end zone.
Shout out to Tony Pollard.
Yeah. have yourself a day.
Shout out to Tony Pollard. I give respect where it's due. I was wrong about Tony Pollard.
Don't say that. That's one pretty good game. They've not shelled him out very well.
Yeah.
I just, man, the Texans, is like you mentioned, the CJ stuff's out a little bit. You know, like he's still really good. He's still somebody you'd want to start the old franchise with. But when you kind of contain Mixon, it's a little bit different for this Texans team now. Mixon's been unbelievable.
He was due for a bad game, though.
He
was due.
Like him getting 85 plus yards and a tutty was just automatic.
Yeah.
It's kind of like him and Saquon were out of their minds this year.
The Derrick Henry, Saquon.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He's already got a touchdown.
Did he score this game?
Yeah, he's already scored.
So he scored in every single football game he has played in this year.
Yeah. I know, Miggy. I know.
Like, that's crazy, man. A.J. Brown, 100 yards. It's all right. You're fine. You're good. You're not good, but you're all right. I'm going to stop talking.
Did you guys, I don't even know, did you guys play this weekend?
No, thank God.
Yeah.
We suck. We suck so bad.
Falcons, man. What a weird team.
I want to trade Kirk Cousins, but I don't, but I do.
Just let him hold on and let Penix.
You got to take the good with the bad with Kirk, man.
No, I just want to trade him because he has some value still. And it's like, let Mikey P go ahead and just do his thing, and then sign little Justin Fields as a backup. And let's just see.
Okay.
Let's just see. Get that money off the books.
Yeah. All right. So, last thing we'll talk about here.
Yeah.
NFL MVP odds. As of today, looks like Josh Allen is your. These come from the people of Las Vegas. Okay. This is pretty much everybody is
the who's who's,
and it's pretty much the same across the board. Josh Allen, number 1, pretty favorite. Lamar, number 2, Saquon at 3. Can you guess who number 4 is?
If I hadn't pulled it up,
okay,
I would have guessed. I would not have guessed correctly.
I haven't pulled it up. Number 4.
If you want a hint, we can give you a hint, like a position hint.
Give me a position hint.
Quarterback.
It's a quarterback.
Let me know if you need another hint.
It better not be Patrick Mahomes.
He is actually 5th.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not him.
You want another hint?
Yeah.
It's an NFC team.
Okay. Y'all see me working right now.
You're thinking too hard.
Yeah, you're
thinking way too hard.
Highest scoring offense.
Jaden Daniels?
No.
The young Jared Goff.
Man, get the
Them boys are cooking, dude. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Dude, they are a machine.
I will say it has been automatic. The David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Jahmyr Gibbs, or what's one? J-Mo Williams. Put 3 of those guys in a parlay together. You're more than likely gonna
hit.
Gonna hit.
Yeah, you're barely gonna get to plus 100, but
no, like it's literally
crazy.
like
it's crazy,
watered down now.
So bad. I've never seen it like this for the touchdown market. But man, it's one of those things like the pregame before, like if you're watching, I was watching Fox. I'm trying to find game day so heavy. I mean, the Fox guys are fine, but I don't really watch the Fox pregame. I watch ESPN game day. I watch McAfee. I watch Saban. Watch Herbie. Watch both dogs. Shout out. I'm trying to find my NFL Sunday morning show. I think I like NFL Network with Rich Eisen and them, but then I also like some of the Fox guys. But they were talking about it on the Fox game. It's like this Lions team is just scoring at a pace we hadn't seen in quite some time. It's crazy. They're so good right now.
They are. And to your point, I like what you just said about finding your college game day on Sunday.
Yeah.
My friend produces for Fox and on the Sunday morning show. So I'm trying
That's
to show,
sick.
bro, she's like, yeah, it's freaking crazy. And dog, I will say though, I love CBS too.
Yeah,
they just have some substance. It's good, but I get what you're saying about Fox. I like the culture. Michael Strahan, Terry. I mean, it's like the Lee Corso effect.
I just feel like they do such a good job of hiding Lee. They don't hide Terry.
No, like he said, Puka Natuka.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you know what? You go out there and you try.
Yeah.
You try your best and go down with the ship. But nothing's like game day, though, man. Although not feeling Peter, but I understand why.
Oh,
Yeah, Kirk has anxiety.
Yeah.
And anxiety is a crippling thing, and I think that Peter is there to help curb that.
The little clip of him when Kirk was standing there with the pointer, that made me feel really good.
Yeah.
Like where Peter's kind of chasing it, but he's also like, I think Peter's like right at a year old.
He's young,
maybe under a year old.
Yeah.
So like, let him get seasoned, man.
You know,
he'll grow on you a little bit.
No, I know. I'm just selfish because I thought Ben was literally like.
I mean, Ben was a king, bro.
Like he was truly a gem, one of one.
Like
I was like, man, brother, we ain't even had the food.
I know. Yeah.
You're supposed to have some cake.
We hadn't even ordered. Mama ain't even ordered.
Oh my god,
dude! We hadn't even ordered. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm done, man. I'm done talking. Cut my mic off, man.
We're good. All right. Sorry. But hey, Herbie needs it. It's been great. It's been awesome. Awesome for game day.
Yeah, bro. Love that dynamic.
Yes.
I do.
I wish I'd ordered food. Sorry, I just thought about that. I got a little hungry. A little tummy growl. All right, boys. We've had a long show.
Yeah.
Great show. Thanks for rallying.
Listen,
bro.
I tried to give y'all some minutes off the bench, man.
That's big time.
And
man.
I appreciate y'all.
Coming off the bench and won the game.
Come on.
Let's go.
Had to hoop.
Great day to hoop. I'm so glad to be back here, boys.
Me too.
Yeah, we got a big week ahead. Hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving from all of us at Chatted Up Sports. Like, subscribe, follow us on everywhere. Thank you, Mike's on the Wall. 3 claps, one time, boys, for our first sponsorship.
Bring a teddy bear.
Bring a teddy bear. We'll be back again next Monday right here at Mike's on the Wall. Love yins. Bye.